It's a talk show about photography.
I'm ready. Anybody can do it.
I do that all the time.
Yorkshire Gold.
Yorkshire Gold.
To me, that's a shebang.
I'm click, 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 click. Oh, we're getting close.
Photography is a performance art. So that every time I go to a location now, I walk away with a storybook of not only the hero, but vignettes. I love little scenes. I love component parts that make up the whole. It's more than just using your eyes. It's listening, it's feeling, it's making choices and determinations that bring your point of view into your image. Be specific, make really strong choices. Take a moment, and even when you think you have the shot, question yourself and say, is there more? And take it as far as you can. The more we do it this way, in a really present way, in a joyful way, in a loving way, and bringing, everything we have to the moment, the more it spreads into your image.
Today on the grid, our guest is Olympus visionary and international love machine, Scott Bourne. We're going to see a sneak peek of the new super secret, unreleased, upcoming version of Luminar. We've got more holiday gift ideas with special guests Rick Sammon and Terry White, who are Skyping in. We're going to be announcing the winner of the Platypod Reflections Contest. We've got a special secret announcement, plus we've got some cool giveaways for all you folks watching live. And guess what? It all starts in just 60 seconds.
Grid is brought to you by Tamron. Check out their 28 to 75 millimeter f2.8 lens. It's for Sony full frame mirrorless. It's awesome. Go to tamron-usa.com. And Westcott. Check out their new Rapid Box switch. It has 9 light modifiers and 13 quick swap light inserts. Check it out right now at fjwestcott.com.
And ProPhoto, the light shaping company. Check out the ProPhoto B1X. Power in all the right places. Go to prophoto.com/US.
And Platypod, the tripod alternative that is changing the world. Everybody has a Platypod. You should too. Go to platypod.com.
Well, hi, everybody. Welcome to another live episode of The Grid. My name's Scott Kelby, and our very special in-studio guest, Mr. Scott Bourne.
Hey, good to be here, Scott. Thanks for having me. And I'm kind of mesmerized by all the trickery and gimmickry of all the cool stuff. We got jibs, and we got monitors, and we got cameras, and we got people.
It's trickery is what it is.
It's the stuff behind us is actually running the NASA launch sequences, so don't be too concerned about that.
It's true. Anyway, we're glad you're here. Scott, glad to have you here.
Glad to be
One
here.
of the reasons we're excited about having Scott here is we are going to do more holiday gift ideas. So it's not just Scott and I, though, because I'm not going to do any. As a matter of fact, I did mine last week, and Eric and I shared our favorites. Scott's got some. We're going to be joined via Skype by Rick Sammon, two of the most awesome guys in our industry.
It's an all-star team
Rick
except
Sammon
for me.
And stop it. Rick Sammon and Terry White, the ultimate gift gadget guy, where they're all going to be here today. We've got a lot to cover in the show. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really excited about it and glad you guys are here. But the big news is we're going to be showing, Scott has with him on his laptop the upcoming version of Luminar. It's not available yet, and we don't know when it's going to be available. It's soon, though.
Very soon.
Very soon. But he's got the new version. That's it with nothing happening.
We haven't started yet.
We haven't started it yet. That's what it would look like if you did nothing in Luminar.
That's it.
But anyway, we're going to look at that in just a second, and we're excited to show you that because it's new and it's cool.
It is. And by the way, this
people
is like
use
the
Luminar.
only working copy in the world.
So there are broken copies somewhere.
Many.
But you've got the working
This one kind of sort of works. It's supposed to, and we're going to cross our fingers that I don't do anything during the demo that crashes it because it is beta.
Yeah, but that's
But it's pretty solid, and I think we'll be able to give it a good flavor of what we're doing.
Scott, half of the fun of using beta software is having it crash.
Yeah, well, so far this hasn't crashed on me yet.
If
Knock
it
on
doesn't
wood.
crash, you'd ship it.
Yeah, yeah. You know what they say? If people are complaining that your software is taking too long, you haven't shipped soon enough, no matter how bad it is.
Of course.
Yeah.
Anyway, glad to have you here. I can't wait to see it. I haven't seen it myself, so we've talked about it, but I haven't seen it, so I'm looking forward to that. So what else we're going to do? Oh, just want to mention just a couple of things. Well, I guess I have to save one. I need to give you a web address, so I'm going to save one for later. I do want to mention I'm going to be in Atlanta on Monday. So I was just in Chicago on this Monday. Freezing, froze my butt off, cold, snowy Chicago, still had a wonderful time. The people in Chicago are some of the nicest, greatest people.
Best big city in America.
It was the what?
Best big city in America.
It is best big city. It's so
Most
clean.
friendly.
Very, very friendly, very clean. I love Chicago, and go Bears. Bears are having a great year. But I'm going to be in Fort Lauderdale with my Photoshop for Lightroom Users Tour, and that's on Monday, this coming Monday. And then the next week, I'll be in Fort Lauderdale the following Monday. So I hope you come out. Go to KelbyOneLive.com for details. Hey, by the way, speaking of that, I got a new book coming out. Can I show you it? Can I show you? Can I show you? What? This old thing? It's so old, it's brand new. Photoshop for Lightroom users. So it's the latest version of my book, and I'm very excited about it. It is a book that covers all the things that you would leave Lightroom for. So it is just gone under pre-release. You can order it. It's at press right now.
Is that the beta version?
That's not the beta version. That's what's called the mock-up version.
Okay.
But it is on press, actually, so it won't be long now. And you can go and order it on Amazon, has it available for pre-order. So, yes, Scott's ordering it right now. All right. I want to say hi to a few people that are tuning in from us. We've got Stefan from Germany. We've got Brigitte. Hello, Brigitte. Brian's here. It's interesting because I think Brigitte is from the UK. So I don't know why I used a French accent. Brian's here from New York. Mary Jo says, hi, y'all. Nina's here from Pennsylvania. Joseph's here from maybe Reno. I can't tell anymore. Is it Reno? Or it's just Geno? No, it's just hello. Joseph just says hello. Sorry, I thought it said Reno. You can't tell. Anyway, glad you guys are here. Glad Scott's here. Scott, let's see this super secret. Now, for those of you who know, I've been a fan of Luminar for years now, since it came out. And I think some of the stuff that you guys have added, the light beams, the sky enhancer, come on.
Well, I just going to talk a second before I show it.
Please,
I just want to talk about the design philosophy. So many people ask me, will the new Luminar have this feature or that feature? And it's all based on them wanting to use the processes they're familiar with to get the results they want. What we're trying to do is we're not trying to replicate what Adobe does. Adobe does a great job of doing what Adobe does. We're trying to come up with something completely different. We want to solve photographers' problems. So the best way to approach our software is to start thinking about what you used to do and just start thinking about what you want to accomplish, because we've got tools to do that. So it's not intended to be a replacement for anything from Adobe. In fact, our software works as a plug-in with all Adobe products.
Right, you can plug it into Lightroom.
Yeah, you can. If you just want to use 3 or 4 of my filters, that's great. I mean, it's a steal because it's so cheap.
And that's how I use it.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
How much is it?
It's $60 right now. And by the way, that's one time ever. $60. No rental fee. $60. And I'm just saying, you don't have
just
to.
saying. He's just saying.
And if you used 4 of the 50 plus filters, that'd be $15 a piece. You'd own them for life. That's a pretty good deal.
That's a pretty good deal.
So
I use more than 4 though.
I know, me too. But the thing is, we do have some alternatives for those who just want to get in and out of their photos quickly and want to be able to browse them quickly. And that's a function that many people use a product called Lightroom for. There's other people that use a product called Photo Mechanic.
Yep. And
why do they use Photo Mechanic, Scott?
For one reason and one reason. Well, sports guys use it for another reason. But for the rest of us, I spent $150 on Photo Mechanic because I need to see my thumbnails faster.
Yeah, it's fast. So that's what we focused on. So what we're doing is releasing, I'll let everybody know, the official name is Luminar 3. Luminar
How did you
3.
come up with that? That's brilliant.
It came after 2.
Man, you guys are crazy.
And it is primarily based around a very fast browser.
Yes.
So I want to show you, this is Luminar 3 up on the screen right now. This is a beta version. And by the way, we'll be releasing this as a beta. It won't be completely sorted out with all the features when we come out with it pretty soon, like around sometime maybe next month. But it will be very quickly updated after that. And there'll be a lot of questions, I'm sure, about what that'll involve, and I'll get into them.
Hey, Scott, Marianne is asking, you can use it with Adobe Elements, Photoshop Elements. It plugs in the same plug-in architecture as Photoshop.
I know that our current version of Luminar does. I don't know if the new one will or not. That's a question I will get answered, though.
I'm going to say that it will.
It probably will.
So Photoshop Elements and Photoshop, they share the same plug-in architecture.
So
I would be
work.
very surprised if it didn't.
Well, I'm just going to show you something. Right here on the top, there's this little button. This is the import button. You can also go to File, Import, whatever. But I'm just going to import, and it's simple as this. Add a folder. And I'm going to go over here to Pictures 2, or Pictures 2 copy, I think. And I'm going to add the folder.
Are these raw photos?
These are a combination of RAWs, TIFFs, and JPEGs.
Okay.
And one thing right off the bat you'll notice is it's already done.
How many photos are in there? A lot?
Hundreds. Well, in this case, 131. But it was instant.
Wow, that's quick.
And you can see how fast I scroll, and it's very fast. Now, what we've done is we've created a folder over here that is everything that was in the one that I imported. Now, the first question I'm going to get is this managed or referenced? Because that's what everybody wants to know about.
Right.
It's sort of a hybrid. The bottom line is this. If you make a change in Luminar to your folder structure, you're making a change to the folder structure on your hard disk.
Okay.
So that's the important thing to know. If you move it here, you're moving it there. Likewise, if you add something to it later, it will automatically sync up. So the next time you open Luminar, if I add 2 more pictures to this folder now,
right,
and I come back, they'll be there.
They'll be there automatically.
Yeah,
I don't have to do any kind of update.
You don't have to tell it, hey, I'm updating you.
It says, oh, I see you added some new photos. I'll bring them in.
Which, by the way, it could be very cool for people that work on group projects if they're doing stuff from a Dropbox folder or an iCloud folder. As anybody adds a picture to it, it automatically ends up here.
Hey, Steve's asking the question, is Luminar for Mac and Windows?
It is.
There you go. That was the easy answer. Dalton wants to know, the $60 that you buy, it's actually $59, Dalton. So the other dollar just send directly to me. $59. Does that include upgrades?
It includes updates. And we're not going to charge for a paid upgrade at the moment. We're not planning on doing that till around 2020.
Ooh, 2020. But 2020.
And there's a discount on the upgrades for those that already own the product, but they're not mandatory. That's the difference.
Right.
So let's say that I want to do something with this one photo, Scott, this eagle photo.
Yeah.
I double click it. Now, guess where we are?
In an editing environment?
We're ready to go to the edit mode because I didn't have to export it to a program, open that other program, edit it, export it back. It's all in the same environment. What we did then is that gives us a film strip on the left that we can peruse our pictures. And down here on the bottom, well, what we used to call presets, we're calling Luminar looks.
Oh, very nice.
So there are some cool Luminar looks here. And what's nice about this is if you just want to get a good starting point on your photo, or if you're somebody who just wants it to look good and you want to get rid of it, you can just click a button and make a change in real time. And what it's doing over here is creating the workspaces and the filters we need. But unlike a lot of presets from other companies, you can edit all these.
You know what I did like about this, about your presets from the very beginning? That if you notice right there, the Luminar look that he just chose, there's an amount slider right there in the thumbnail. So you can control the amount of however many things were applied to it. It's kind of undo on a slider.
And you could also do that with the individual filters. So you always have control. So it's as simple as that. You've got your file information here. This tells you what camera it was taken with. This is your editing, and this is back to the library pane. It's pretty straightforward. Now, you can click this up arrow to go right back to all of the things here. We can actually do simple things like rating right here. Like I can click 6 stars right there and make that a keeper. I can click 5 stars. I can also click a heart. You can do all these different kinds of ratings right on the picture. It's very intuitive. And then you can search. and say, show me all the pictures that are 4 stars or more. There they are. Notice
God, those are 2-star pictures, but go ahead.
Okay, well, you know.
I'm just totally kidding. Just messing with you.
The idea here is that you'll notice there's no time to populate. It's just instant. You can go back to all photos.
Yeah, it's very quick.
It's
you
very.
took all these photos, right?
I took almost all of them. Wow. There's a couple like this one Rich Harrington took so he could demonstrate our sky enhancer. And you know what? That's a good cue.
Hey, could you make that sky look better, Scott?
I can.
I don't think that's possible.
Here's the thing. I'm going to double click this to edit it, go over to edit. Now, I want to mention something. We talked about this a little bit at lunch. A lot of times people will say, Scott, does it have luminosity masking? Does it have layer brushes that I can do fine edges with? Does it? And they'll ask me if for like 6 or 7 features, and I'll say, well, why do you want all that stuff? Oh, I just want to make my skies better. I need to mask out the sky. I need to create an adjustment layer. And I'm like, well, what if I could just help you do that with 1 slider?
Yeah, what if you didn't need to do all that stuff?
Yeah, so I'm just going to go over here to add filters, and no, I'm not. See here, we've created a bug situation.
Maybe it's already there.
It could be. Let me try this separately.
While he's doing that,
yes,
Kendall asked the question, will there be an iPad version eventually?
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. In other words, he knows, but he can't tell you. John asks, is Luminar cloud-based only?
Not at all.
It's not cloud-based at all, period.
There we go.
Stefan asks, how easy to switch between Lightroom and Photoshop and a Luminar workflow? It's a plug-in to either Lightroom or Photoshop. So if you're working in Lightroom and you wanted to open Luminar to do stuff, you just choose it as a plug-in, and it opens up. You do what you want to do, hit OK, it applies your changes, and puts it back.
Real quick, I'm going to click on our new Sky Enhancer filter. This uses AI. So instead of all that masking, how about we just take 1 slider?
Let's do it, mate.
So 1 slider. Notice it didn't affect the rocks. It didn't affect the foreground. It just knows where the sky is, mask it out automatically, and you can put as much or as little of the enhancement on there as you want. And a lot of the things we're building Luminar around in the future are AI-based, so that you can just move through quickly and competently. And if you want to, it's okay with me and Scott. We discussed this at lunch. You can tell people it took you 6 hours in Photoshop.
Yeah, if you want to go, oh, it was ridiculously hard to select that sky, we don't care. We're okay with it. We're totally fine with it. Hey, we're going to take a break. Is it break time? It's break time. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, I've got some news. I have some Photoshop news. I've got some just general news. Fun stuff. Guess who's back on the jib? It's Juan. She did a good job. We were out last week, Juan. She crushed it.
When you need a tripod that is compact, that is portable enough to take with you anywhere, one that is adaptable to any situation, that will prove versatile enough for any shoot, and is compatible with your other gear, giving you freedom to create your own perspective. Look no further. Platypod Ultra does it all. Visit platypod.com for more info.
This segment of The Grid is brought to you by B&H Photo, the professional source since 1973.
Ah, we're back. Hey, Juan didn't count us in. Juan?
Uh-oh.
We can't talk unless you count us in.
He refuses to count us in. It's a strike thing.
He's on strike.
He's on strike.
So we're just like, hey, we're back. Hi. Anyway, we're back. Scott Kelby here with Scott Bourne, Olympus Luminary, International Love Machine.
Olympus Visionary.
I'm sorry.
Panasonic might get upset if you say Luminary.
Yes, I was wrong. Visionary.
Thank you.
Which means he can see all the way to the teleprompter. All right. So, hey, before we go on, I got a couple announcements real quick. But before we go on, I'm just sitting here and Scott's doing something over his computer, and I see his desktop photo, which is an image that he took. Can we just show his desktop photo? Son of a gun, dude, that's a heck of a picture.
Thank you.
And people that watch the show know that I'm not a big wildlife person. That's because I don't take shots that look like this. If I took shots that look like this, I'd be like Scott Kelby, wildlife photographer.
Very kind
But that's just a stunning shot.
It was all luck.
It always is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, just look. That's great. That's beautifully done. All right. So I've got a couple of things. I actually ready. This is crazy. What I'm about to explain. I got something added to Photoshop. It's a very small thing, but it's been there for like 20 years, driving me crazy. And so I told my friends who work on the Photoshop team, and I said, hey, next time you're going to add something crazy, would you add this little checkbox? And they did it. And they sent me a note. And they said, I don't know if you noticed, but we added your thing. It was in the November update. And I'm like, I didn't know it was there. And it is there. So I'm going to show you what the problem is, and see if it bugs you too. You may go, I could never care less. But take a look on my screen. Oh, control room 2. Thank you. Sorry. Got to go to control room 2 before you can actually see my screen. I'm going to have to resize my screen too. Yes, I will. Hang on. Okay. All right, so we have this image here on screen. It's got lots of layers, right? So when I get to the end of this and I want to be done with it, right, I go to flatten. So I go over here and I choose flatten image. So what happens when you choose flatten image, look, I have one layer that's hidden. Watch, one layer I did not use. I decided it didn't look good and I hid this layer. When I go to flatten, what happens is a dialog box comes up and says, do you want to delete that empty layer? Well, duh. Why would I choose flatten if I wanted to keep layers? But for the lifetime, it always came up with a dialog box right now. And I have to hit every single time. Yes, delete hidden layers every time. Did you notice it didn't do that?
I noticed.
So take a look. Here's what it used to look. This is what you used to see. This big thing that says discard hidden layers. And so I asked Adobe to simply add a checkbox. And now what you see is this. Don't show again.
Yes.
Come on. For now, you don't have to ever see discard hidden layers. Yes, I wouldn't have hit flatten if I wanted to keep layers. So it's a small win, but it means a lot. And when Adobe did this update, they never mentioned that they added this, I think, major feature.
I think your name should be on the screen now when they have Thomas Knoll, Scott Kelby.
Actually, it should be larger and big letters. It should be bigger than the words Photoshop. Now, anyway, thank you to the Adobe team. Thank you to Meredith and Jeff and Steve and all the people that actually, take my emails. And so occasionally they will say, hey, have you got anything on your wish list? And that was one of mine. And doggone it, it's there. I'm very excited. All right, I have big news. That wasn't the big news. That was just kind of, hey, cool. Here's the big news. Today, we are, a little later, we're going to announce the winner of the Platypod Reflections Contest. That's coming up in a little while. So Platypod winner's coming up. In fact, we're going to be giving away a Platypod Ultra later on the show today to someone watching live. In fact, let's go ahead and pick a name now, Christina, if you will, for someone to win a Platypod Ultra, the greatest little gadget ever. I use these all the time. In fact, I'm doing a shoot on Friday in a theater, and I am I'm doing the whole shoot basically on my Platypod Ultra. They are the greatest, and we're going to give one away right now. I think I've predicted this is going to be like one of the hottest photography accessories of all of this season because everybody wants a Platypod, and someone's going to win one right now. Who is it, Christina? Gordon, you just won We only have one Gordon, so you don't need a last name
Some
or
guy
anything.
named
Only
Gordon?
one person named Gordon
You're the
watches
winner
us.
if your name is Gordon.
Congratulations. You just won from our friends at Platypod, the Platypod Ultra. But that's not the big news, even though it is big news to Gordon. I'm going to look at the other camera. Here I go. We are announcing the opening of submissions to have your own private gallery showing at the gallery at KelbyOne.
Wow.
So we're very excited about that. What it is, it's open to KelbyOne Pro members. If you're a KelbyOne Pro member, you can submit one of your images. And if your image is chosen, we fly you and a friend from wherever you are in the world here to our headquarters in Tampa, Florida. We wine you, we dine you, and then we have all of your images printed by the folks at Bay Photo, an incredible photo lab, using their exposure system, which is incredible. And you will have a gallery reception and opening night in the gallery where we'll bring in KelbyOne members from all over that come to see your work. Then we'll go right down the hallway to our theater. We'll go to the theater. Well, you'll talk about your work. We'll talk about you and your work. That's a shot of the theater, the gallery right there. And these are other people that have been in, have already won this competition. So you could be next. And I can tell you that everybody that I've talked to that won said, I never thought I would win. So this is your chance to enter in. We'll fly you to Florida. You'll have a great time. Your images will look amazing. People will love you. They'll want to talk and hang out with you and party with you. And then we're going to go and talk with Larry Becker, who is the host. And for an hour, you chat about your images and your life. And it's just so much fun. You'll have a great experience. And a lot of people will get exposed to your work because we broadcast it to the public live all over. So where do you go to enter the contest? I have an address, and it is, I just saw it a minute ago, and there it is. The address is, it's an easy one to remember. Geez. https://gallery.kelbyone.com. All right. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to write it in Photoshop, put it on screen, and then get your camera right now and take a picture of this screen. Here we go. Oh, I got a bad font. I mean, it's a great font, but bad for this. I'll change the font, KelbyOne.
While you're doing that, Scott, I went into the gallery this morning while you were...
Was it lit? Did they light it?
I turned on the light.
Okay, good. You should.
It is an amazing facility.
It's beautiful,
and
isn't it?
You should definitely enter this contest because anyone would be proud to hang in there. It's been very well designed. It's really beautiful.
Well, Calibra designed the whole thing. I had nothing to do with it.
That's why it's so beautiful.
Of course it is. There you go. So this is it. Get your phone out and take a picture of the screen. Oh, it's missing a letter.
Where's the S?
It's missing a letter. It's missing the S. And it says, oh, yeah, it's KelbyOne. Wow.
It's close.
It's close. It's, yeah.
So delete that picture you just took.
Take a new picture.
And take a new
Because I
picture.
just totally just botched that. All right, that is the right address there. Let's fix that. There we go. Jeez, oh, Pete. I've done just about as bad a job of that as I can do, but that is the correct address now. https://gallery.kelbyone.com and then another slash for some reason. Anyway, go there and enter. Entry is free if you are a KelbyOne Pro member. That's the key. Got to be a KelbyOne Pro member. And hopefully we'll be seeing you here and entertaining you and wining and dining you. I'm glad you got to see the gallery.
It's very
nice,
cool.
Isn't it?
Very cool. Very cool. I just want to jump into a thing real quick, Scott. I want to just talk again about our design philosophy with Luminar before I show you the next thing. It's really built around your photos being front and center. We did research that found out that no matter what post-processing software you use, you probably spend 70% of your time looking at your pictures. And yet, it's sometimes hard to see them with all the junk on the screen. So we built the pictures to be front and center. We made it super easy to rate them.
Yeah, I love how big your thumbnails are. They're ridiculous.
You can make them any size you want, but yeah,
I figured that, but I love them so large.
It's simple to organize because, again, the changes you make in Luminar to the library are being made on your hard disk. That creates so much confusion with people. And by the way, to delete a picture, you have to really want to delete a picture because, first of all, you have to hit 2 keys to delete. You can't just hit the delete key. You have to hit a second key, command key to make it work. And then it goes to a trash can that you have to secondarily delete.
So like it's a fail-safe for you.
And it says,
deleting
and when
things.
you're actually going to delete it, it says, this cannot be undone. So you've gotten a lot of warning.
Right. And watch what we have to do. You have to get another person with Luminar and you turn a key. And you have to do it at the same time. You have to go, turn your key, Scott Bourne.
Not quite
And then you
true.
turn turn.
And what I'm about to demonstrate in a second is, you remember, this is critical. This is one of my favorite things about the way we're approaching this. When you add pictures to your library folder, you don't have to tell Luminar you did that. It's automatically going to index. It's going to scan them.
That's very nice.
It's going to do things really quickly. In fact, my workflow is about 20 seconds per picture. And you can keep all of your images close at hand with our rating system. You can even do a thing we have that I really think is cool. It's called Quick Edit. What if you just want to edit a picture, but you don't want to put it in your library? You just need to do a quick little edit for something for social media, whatever, but it's not something you want to keep in your library. We have a thing for that. It's called Quick Edit. And you can just do that and you're done. It's super fast, and it's all based on our artificial intelligence. You're going to see much more of that from us next year and the year after and the year after.
The AI stuff you guys have done is brilliant.
So what I'm going to do right now is demonstrate in real time. I've got these 2 eagle pictures that are not in my library. Okay. And I can't remember if I put them in the right one just now, but I think I did. So we're going to open up Luminar. And we're going to go to the library.
To eagle.
To all pictures, all photos. And we're going to stop with the ratings. Oh, I got to do my import again. Here, pictures. Add folder. Okay, there we go. And there is one of the 2 pictures I just added.
Well, there you go.
I didn't have to tell it.
You didn't have
there.
to say refresh. Or
no,
check that.
It's automatically there, and you can see the rating system is also available here. You can see the trash can if you just want to click on that to delete a photo. But we've got all kinds of cool stuff going on here. You can do all the things you used to be able to do in Luminar. One of my favorite things is that you can just hit F and get a full screen shot and see your picture front and center with nothing else in the way.
Hey, you know, Scott, I got a class on Luminar on KelbyOne.
Oh.
If people want to learn, like if you, now he's showing stuff
that doesn't happen yet.
That doesn't happen yet. But if you just want to learn the ins and outs of it, I've got a class on it on KelbyOne where you can go and learn all the, the goodies. And I don't have some of the latest stuff in there because I did my class a little bit ago. So I don't have the light beams.
Right.
And I don't have, of course, some of the new AI stuff. I don't have the sky enhancer in it. But it's you'll get it. You'll be like, oh, okay, I get it. And this, of course, hasn't been released yet. This new version, Luminar 3, I think, is the name that they're calling it.
Luminar 3. We went to Name Lab for that, and we came up with that Name Lab. And if you want to hide this stuff at the bottom, you can click a button to get rid of it. You got your fit to screen, all that kind of stuff. Make your image bigger, smaller.
You guys have a great interface.
Yeah,
you really do.
You can do this before and after thing, which is kind of cool. Or you can go to this way, the tools, crop, free transform, etc. This is what's cool though. No more importing, exporting to another program. Library, edit, info, and export. So that's what's cool. There's just this thing is how you do your workflow. You start with your library, then you go to the image you want to edit.
Right.
Then you check your info, and then you export it.
Nice.
It's just simple as that.
$59.
Now that's if you buy it like in the next few days.
Yeah, that's your cyber deal.
In the beginning of next year, it's going to go up to $99.
99. Get it now.
But if you have a 2018 version of Luminar now, or you buy a version today, then you're going to automatically get the library's upgrade for free. And in Q1, we're going to be adding more functionality to the product. And eventually, for those of you who are involved with Lightroom and may want to port over libraries to work with, we are going to have an ingestion engine that will help you move your stuff from Lightroom into Luminar libraries if that's your preference. But keep in mind, this works as a plugin for Lightroom as well. So if you want to continue to use Lightroom to organize your photos, that's up to you. You can just use our cool filters, our cool presets. And by the way, our cool workspaces. We have custom workspaces that you can use. You can actually have your own workspaces. So I have Scott's Auto, and that's my workspace that just brings up the filters I use on a regular basis.
It was a picture of my car.
No, there wasn't.
Oh. Hey, I teach that in my class. How to set up custom workspace.
I think I'll stop now then.
No, I just want people to like. We're covering a lot here, and
really
if
quickly.
you think, wow, this thing does a ton, and I'm just scratching the surface. It's true.
Please go to the KelbyOne class.
Yeah.
And moreover, at Skylum.com, we do have and will have more training, especially once we release the version that I'm just showing now. This product will probably come out around December, end of December, in beta for probably Windows and Mac at the same time. And then Q1 we'll start to see some updates and much more functionality. The basic product that gives you the library, the editing, the export is done. It's super fast. I can't stress enough, that's what we put all of our energy into. It's fast.
I've got you. A real quick question. Will Luminar retain all captions and keywords if you export or save a photo?
We'll figure that out in Q1.
We'll figure that out in Q1. How much RAM is recommended to run? I can tell you, I don't know if there's an official number. It's probably on your website, right?
It is, skylum.com.
But get 16 megabytes of RAM. The world needs. Now, there are programs like Lightroom or Photoshop that say, we're running 12.
Yeah, not really.
Everybody needs 16. Yeah. The whole world. The whole world needs 16.
Our software is very dependent on artificial intelligence, so it is a little, functionality heavy.
It's rammy.
But I would say that most $1,000 machines that are reasonably new could run our software quite well.
Absolutely fantastic. Scott, we're going to go to break, but when we come back, I just want to warn you, you're going to need to share a couple of quick holiday gifts.
Ready.
We're going to hit up Rick Sammon and Terry White in just a minute. We're talking holiday gear. Thank you very much for giving us a little sneak peek of Luminar 3.
My pleasure.
We'll be right back.
This segment of The Grid is brought to you by Canon.
Make sure you don't miss any episodes of The Grid by subscribing to Apple's podcast app or iTunes. It's free, and we even have a special audio-only version, too. So sign up today.
Hey, everybody, we're back. Scott Kelby here with Scott Bourne. We are, we got a sneak peek of Luminar, and now we're going to actually, here in a second, go into some gear guide stuff. So Scott does his own gear guide over at Photo Focus. We've got Terry White coming on the line here in just a minute. There's Terry. Terry!
Hey, what's up?
Terry, welcome.
What's going on?
Well, not much. Now, I have this thing in my earpiece in my ear that I'm supposed to be able to listen to you with, and it just jumps out of my ear at all times. So, Terry, what I'll need you to do is scream.
If I press this button, does it jump out?
Yes, if you press a button, it shoots out of my ear. Now, look how nicely lit Terry is.
Yeah, he's nice.
He's really well lit. And then look at us in the dark over here. Look at that.
Look at that. Yeah, that's pretty.
And look at this. Look at the cool tech background and all. And he's wearing earrings today in both ears.
I'm wearing tech.
Oh, you're wearing tech. Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'm just going to hold my thing in my ear so I look like I'm bored, but I'm really not. I'm really happy to have you here. All right. I'm going to bounce between you and Scott. So, Terry, lead us off. Give us one of your favorite. You always have the best tech stuff, Terry. So what do you got?
All right. So, by the way, because remember last time we did this, everyone was like, "Where do I get that from? Where do I get this from?" Everything I'm about to do today is at terrywhite.com. I scrambled and put together the post today.
So awesome.
So it's up now. My holiday gadget gift guide, which I missed last year, but it's up now. It's here. Everything I'm going to talk about. So, kicking us off, first thing I want to talk about is actually one of my favorite camera accessories. And it is by the great folks at Tether Tools, and it's called the Tether Block. So this is it along the bottom. It's actually a tripod mount, so it's an Arca mount. And you can see my tether cable is locked in place in that going through the tether block. So it does two things. Number one, if you ever pull your cable, you're not going to mess up the port on your camera. And number two, you're not going to mess up the port on your camera. I have literally paid hundreds of dollars getting cameras repaired because I accidentally hit something, break something, move something, push something, and the port no longer connects reliably. So tether block, definitely one of my favorite accessories. And I've had other ones that will lock the cable, but the thing I love about this one is it's also the tripod mount. So I don't have to take it off to put a tripod on.
Terry, that was on my gear guide last year when it just came out. That is such a great and helpful gift. I think that you started off with a winner.
They invented it for me.
All right, they did invent it for you and me and everybody else that shoots tethered. All right, Scott, give us one. We're going to jump over to Scott.
I just want to piggyback on that. I used one of those for the first time at PPE while I was shooting on stage.
Yeah?
And it really helped because I had to shoot tethered, and that's exactly what I used. It's amazing. So my first pick is the SanDisk Extreme Portable USB 3.1 Type C external SSD. And what that boils down to, it's a thing about yay big that is a flash drive.
Right.
That works with USB-C or regular USB 3 ports. And it is the fastest drive in the world. I don't care what anybody says. It is super fast, Scott. It's super convenient. You can carry it. You can go from 256 all the way up to 2 terabytes.
How big is it size-wise?
It's about this big.
Oh, it's really tiny, a couple
it's
of
about
inches tall,
this big.
3 inches tall?
And it's about that thick.
Wow.
It's super small. It's got this cool key chain fob thing you can use. But I've been using these things for about a month now, and I'm telling you, it's changed how I work in the field. They're not expensive. They're very reliable. So that's my pick. It's the SanDisk Extreme Portable.
Nice. Now, where can people go? Now, Terry said yours is at terrywhite.com?
Correct.
All right, where can people go and see yours at Photo Focus?
It's at Photo Focus Holiday Gift Guide for Photographers or something just search Holiday Gift Guide Scott Bourne.
There you go.
You'll find it, and it's there. But it's really an amazing product. And I travel a lot as you do, and I've taken this thing out in the field, and it is very reliable.
Yeah, I use a Samsung SSD, but I like the looks of that a lot, and I think yours is smaller.
Well, you can
than my
drop
Samsung.
this 6.5 feet.
What
and
happens
it
if you
still
drop
works.
it 7 feet?
I don't have any idea.
It explodes.
Toast.
I guess it's no good. But
it explodes like a mirrorless camera.
It doesn't matter if it's cold. It's just very reliable.
All right. Well, thank you, Scott. That's a good one. Terry, what do you got?
All right, my second one, and this piggybacks off one I know you talked about already because I recommended it, and I still do. This is another portable backup hard drive solution. So the one that Scott talked about last week on his gear guide was the one from Western Digital. Mm-hmm. Great solution. I use it. I have one. It's awesome. Wireless, works great. This one takes a different approach. This one is not an SSD, so therefore it's not quite as fast, but you get more storage. You get 2 terabytes of storage on it. Number two, it's not wireless. It actually gives you the cable and ports to, number one, plug in your SD card right in the SD card reader, back up right while you're in the field, no computer required. And if you do have a mobile device with you, they give you all the cables for all the most popular phones.
Oh, that's clever.
Lightning, micro USB, USB-C, and when you plug this in, especially on an iPhone, this shows up in the file system on the iPhone. So you can literally take the raw files that you backed up on here and put them right in Lightroom on your iPad or iPhone and back them up that way as well, and edit them, which is the biggest part. So put the card in or plug a card reader in if you're not using SD, back up, Everything's backed up on here. And then if you want to take it further, plug in your mobile device and edit. And of course, you can plug it into a computer when you get back home to transfer from there as well.
Very nice. Now, Terry,
And it's rubber coated.
I didn't get to see you up at Photo Plus when I was there. I had to leave early, but I just want to say your hair looks stunning.
Thank you.
That's a very cool look.
And this is, by the way, I don't even know if I said what it was. This is the DJI Copilot. So I don't think I said that.
So it's made by DJI, the people that make the drones.
It's actually made by LaCie in conjunction with DJI.
Gotcha. Well, thank you, Terry. Don't go away.
All right.
More from Terry.
I'm not. I got more stuff.
Mr. Bourne.
My next pick is going to surprise some people, but it's Flickr Pro. It's $49 now.
What?
And I'll tell you why I'm picking them. Because my friends at SmugMug, who I've known for eons,
They are great people.
bought Flickr from Yahoo.
They did. Thank God.
And the Flickr Pro, it's $49.99. You get unlimited storage, ad-free browsing. You get really good stats. New 5K photo display. And by the way, the way they display photos, it's stunning. And it's, with SmugMug in control, I believe it'll become the social media network that we've all been hoping it would be. It kind of went really bad under Yahoo. And now that it's in the hands of real photographers, I trust it. I've got my account there, Scott Bourne. If you follow me, I'll follow you back. And I'm having a lot of fun with it. And for, I don't know, what's $49.99 divided by 12? It's just a few dollars a month.
Yeah, it's very little.
And it's a good service. And I think, there's something we could all help make this into something worthwhile.
Well, I was happy to see it to go into SmugMug's hands because they are very sharp, good people. And Yahoo had really let it out to pasture. Like it was just going to die there. So they did a great thing by getting it.
And the family that's run SmugMug and bootstrapped that company is behind this, and they are very committed to it.
Great. By the way, a comment from Beetlejuice says, Terry's always got amazing lighting. # goals. Shout out to Terry. All right.
Thank you. And Beetlejuice is being too kind because he has like the coolest studio in the world.
Oh, that's cool. See? It's a love fest. Speaking of love fest, what else do you love, Terry?
All right. This is going to be one of those things where you might not think about it because either you're on one side of the camera or the other. Either you're the photographer or you're the subject. But what if you're that other person? What if you're the one that captures all the behind the scenes stuff? Maybe you're the assistant. Maybe you are the photographer. Maybe you are the model. What people hate more than bad audio is shaky video. So I highly recommend you get a gimbal to capture video, behind the scenes, live streaming, whatever it is to steady your phone or ones that have cameras built into them, like the brand new, just came out today, DJI Osmo Pocket. It's literally about the size just of the handle, and it's got a 4K camera built in. It is literally for your pocket. So that's the one that's going to replace this one.
And it has a gimbal?
It has a gimbal. It is a gimbal, and it's got a 4K camera built in, so you don't have to use your phone to record.
Man.
Interesting.
Just came out today.
There it is.
So,
it's not cheap.
Yeah.
Holy
how many
cow.
other 4K cameras with a gimbal can you buy for less than that?
Good point. He's got you there.
Cat sound. All right, we're going to have to take a break here. Let's take a break.
And I did get that on my blog, so it's there as well with the bigger one.
All right, Terry, do you have any more?
I always got more.
All right, well, stick around then for a minute. We're going to go to break. When we come back, we're going to get another one from Scott, and we're going to welcome Rick Sammon to the show here in just a minute. So we're going to take a break. Don't go away. More Terry White, more love, more holiday gift ideas for photographers on the grid.
Hey, Rick Sammon here. We just finished shooting the overview for my latest KelbyOne class, Uncovering the Magic of Utah's National and State Parks. In this class, I'm not only going to show you the most magical places in Utah, we're going to visit two of my favorite locations in nearby Nevada. I'm going to cover composition, exposure, lenses, camera settings, and even a little bit of photo processing. We're going to start in Arches National Park. Close to Arches is Dead Horse Point State Park, which, in my personal opinion, is just as stunning as the Grand Canyon. While in the area, we're going to take a jet boat ride on the Colorado River, which is a ton of fun and offers some really cool photo possibilities. And I'll give you a quick tour of Goblin Valley State Park. From the Arches area, we'll move over to Bryce Canyon National Park. Our next stop will be Zion National Park. The towering red rock formations here are simply awe-inspiring. I'm Rick Sammon. Come check out my latest class, Uncovering the Magic of Utah's national and state parks, only on KelbyOne.com.
Emily, look who I have. Look at my buddy. It's so exciting. It's so exciting to watch those little ones because the beauty is you can capture so many different moments within truly a few seconds. I think when we think of capturing child portraits and you think of, okay, I need to capture this picture with the child smiling and looking at the camera, instead, I think about the age and what children are doing. Toddlers ages 1 to 3 are not sitting hardly ever and staring and smiling. It's not what they do. If they're the type of child who really truly is exploring according to their own terms, that's what I want. You can create such beautiful art of little ones. Just be in the moment and play. Kids are exploratory by nature, and if you just have your camera in hand, being ready for every moment, not for the moment, but every moment, you'll be sure to capture it. I'm Tracy Sweeney. Check out my latest course, Pro Tips for Photographing Toddlers, on KelbyOne.com.
Photography is a performance art. So that every time I go to a location now, I walk away with a storybook of not only the hero, but vignettes. I love little scenes. I love component parts that make up the whole. It's more than just using your eyes. It's listening, it's feeling, it's making choices and determinations that bring your point of view into your image. Be specific, make really strong choices, take a moment, and even when you think you have the shot, question yourself and say, is there more? And take it as far as you can. The more we do it this way, in a really present way, in a joyful way, in a loving way, and bringing, everything we have to the moment, the more it spreads into your image.
This segment of The Grid is brought to you by Platypod, the world's most compact tripod base.
Hey guys, we're back. Scott Kelby here with, let me say it again, Olympus visionary and international love machine.
Oh, quit it.
Scott Bourne.
I thought the international love machine was because you're bringing Rick Sammon on.
He is the international man of love. That's different. Slightly different.
Doesn't he look
Rick.
like a
hey,
love
Rick,
machine?
how you doing, buddy?
Hey, man. It's great to see you both.
Hey,
You
Rick,
too.
you shared a video on Facebook this week of 2 bass players playing in the street, like street musicians. Oh, my gosh, that was unbelievable. I went and shared it on my Facebook page.
No, that was amazing. But, I have a quick question for you. Should I go for, like, the Peter Hurley look like this, where he crops off, like, the top of the head, or should I go like this?
No, I think that's good right there.
Okay.
Good to see you, Rick. Good to see your face.
Well, thanks for having me, my friend.
Of course. And we're also going to bring Terry on as well. So we're going to have Terry and you and Scott. I don't have any gift ideas. I'm out of gift ideas. But I do have this. There's look at the 3 of you on screen at the same time. You could be like a band.
There we go.
No, Scott's a musician.
I know.
And Rick's a musician. And Terry can. Have you ever heard Terry rap? It's unbelievable. The best rapper. Seriously. His name was Terry Doggy Dog, was his actual rap name. Am I right, Terry?
Yeah,
That's funny.
you're right about some things.
Anyway, so Terry is not a musician, but he knows some. So that's, he hangs around with
He
musicians.
could probably run the audio for us.
He could run the audio for us. He could run all the tech for any show,
There we
believe
go.
me.
Yeah.
Anyway, hey, if you switch to my screen real quick, this is where Rick's stuff is. I'm sorry, not Rick's stuff. Scott Bourne stuff. So switch to my screen, go to photofocus.com and just search for Holiday Gear Guide. We just did it ourselves so we know it works. And you'll get this year's and last year's and stuff like that. So there you go. All right. And also, we've got some winners for giveaways. We're going to give those away in a second. Daniel has got the best comment of the day. Daniel should win a prize, quite honestly. He says, Scott, a good recommendation is the KelbyOne Pro membership. It's my own Christmas gift for me. Daniel?
Well done, Daniel.
Well done, sir. You are welcome on the grid anytime. And if you're in town, come by and I'll buy you Diet Coke. But thank you for that comment. So we got some winners. We're going to give away. So we are very fortunate to have with us autographed copies of Rick Sammon's brand new book. Now, this book was on my Holiday Gear Guide. This is such a great book, and I love what Rick did with it, because, Rick, what you did with this is you do have photo tips in here, but this is really about the experience of driving, living, eating, and photographing along Route 66, which is an amazing photo road trip.
Absolutely. You know what? You and I and Calibra, we should do this sometime. It is a ton of fun.
We should. It would be so much fun. Can we leave Terry out of it?
No.
Just us three. Forget Terry. Terry will just be rapping the whole time. It's rap, rappity rap. And we need...
That's going to cost you.
I'm in trouble. Anyway, Rick was kind enough to give... We're giving two away. Michael Dow, you just won an autographed copy of Rick's awesome book. Lenworth, you just won an autographed copy of Rick's book. We got two of them right here, so thank you very much for making those available. And if you didn't just win one, go to Amazon, go to Barnes & Noble, bn.com, and pick up a copy. It would be a great gift to put under any photographer's tree. They would love it.
And Susan has iPhone tips in there, too. So
and
I have the
tips.
I have
Susan.
the digital SLR tips, the mirrorless tips. Susan has the iPhone tips. So it was a ton of fun.
Is one of your tips about mirrorless, don't drop it?
Because
they explode? All right.
Yeah.
Not all of them. And we're going to give away right now a copy of Luminar 2018 to Mary Jo Needles. Mary, you just won. So, Mary Jo, congratulations. Courtesy of Scott and our fine friends at Skylum. Am I saying it right?
Yes, you are.
Because I want to say Skyloom, but it's not. It's
you can
Skylum.
say anything you want, but it's your show. I just want to say about Rick's books, he's got like 37, and none of them are anything other than great. And every one of his books I've ever read has entertained me. So definitely pick. And I've stayed at the
Rick's
Swallows
the man.
Motel. I've stayed there before. It's a great with the car out front under the sign. It's something every photographer should do, and this book will show you how to do it.
And you like the way Rick got the sun in just the right place at f22, so you get the star
He must
bright.
have planned that.
Yeah, I hate when photographers plan stuff.
Yeah.
All right, Rick, you got some stuff? We're going to get you and Terry to give us some more ideas. So
Sure,
give us
sure.
your holiday gift guide there.
Okay, I think you guys have a keynote slideshow or a PDF. So first one, of course, is a platypod. I'm going to Antarctica, by the way, in about 10 days. And I'm taking my Canon mirrorless camera. I'm taking the R there. I'm going totally mirrorless. So this is going to be like kind of cool. And, you know, a lot of people use a platypod in places where you can't use a tripod. But I use, I don't want to pack a tripod there because there's weight restrictions going down. So I'm going to be placing this on the ice with those little screws. So the platypod is definitely a great gift for people who don't want to take a tripod someplace. So next up, and this is a shot I took in New York City with the platypod. So this is a little different. Not really photo accessories, but I think they'll make people a better photographer. Number one is this book called Real Magic by Dr. Wayne Dyer. You see me here, in my tie-dye sweatshirt because it's cold here. It's actually colder here than it's going to be in Antarctica. What Dr. Wayne Dyer says is that we can create our own reality, basically create the magic in our lives. So this is really a great book. I used to work in an advertising agency, Scott, before you were born, Scott Kelby. I used to wear a suit and a tie, and now I'm living the life I want to live, and that book really helps. So that's a great book. The next book, Margaret Livingston, this is called The Biology of Seeing, and this is an unbelievable book. It talks about how we see. I got this idea actually from John Paul Campagnegro, and I don't want to give it away, but basically, if you look at the Mona Lisa's eyes, her mouth looks different than when you're looking at the mouth. And the next book, Emotional Intelligence. We had that other slide before. If we could go to that next slide, I think as photographers, we have to practice emotional intelligence. Like I'm in Sri Lanka. On the bottom picture, I'm respecting the subject. I have emotional intelligence. These people up at the top, they're like numb. This is a religious ceremony, and they're totally numb, like ruining the ceremony for the other people.
Aw.
And in the next shot, you were kind enough to show the promotion in the next shot of my upcoming Utah class. So this is taken in Zion. So I'm respecting the site. I'm behind this fence. But in the next shot, these people didn't have emotional intelligence. They jumped the fence and they're
Aw.
doing these selfies and stuff like that. So the next one, getting back to photography, breakthrough photography filters. Have you tried these, Scott? Or
No,
Scott
I've been all of a sudden hearing about their stuff left and right, but I have not gotten a chance to see their stuff. I hear their NDs and stuff are great.
Well, they have an ND filter, they have a night sky filter, they have polarizing filters. So what these do is you screw on the ring onto your lens, and then these are magnetic filters. They just snap on. So imagine you're in Antarctica or you're photographing the Northern Lights when you were up in where were you? You were up in
Iceland?
Norway.
In
Yeah, well,
Norway, I didn't have any. I was there too early for Northern Lights.
So anyway, say you want to photograph the Northern Lights at night in the dark, right? And they're trying to screw on a filter, it could get screwed up. You could drop it. So these just pop on. So these filters are really cool, the breakthrough photography filters. And I just have a picture of the filters next. But if we go to the 2 slides from now, the picture that I took up in Iceland where you were, do you remember when you were going up there? And if we go to the next one, I recommended these, the Neos boots. These are overshoot.
Yeah.
So what these do is these slip on over your hiking boots, so you don't have to wear like rubber boots around when you're hiking around. So with these overshoes, they're waterproof and they come in thermal versions too. Scott Bourne, I'm sure there's a picture of me using them. Scott Bourne, do you use these?
I've used a similar brand. They're very important when you get up to very cold temperatures.
Yeah, and again, you don't have to wear the rubber boots around all the time. So the next one is actually kind of funny. On the left, we have these Honel gels and grids. If you're into speed light photography, and I talk about these in my KelbyOne classes, 2 classes on turning your home into a studio, these grids, what they do is control the light on the left, and the gels can add a beautiful color tone. Now, if you wrap up a little cardboard cutout like I have on the right there, people are going to laugh at it. But this is a photograph that shows, it's from my KelbyOne class on how to turn your home into a studio. That little, if we could go back, that little cardboard cutout, shining the strobe through there with the gel on, again, getting back to the shot, you can get these beautiful, beautiful pictures in your home, which I think is kind of cool.
Hey, Rick, I'm sorry to interrupt. We're getting a couple of questions about the last filters that you just showed, the NDs from Breakthrough.
Yep.
Kendall's asking, can those filters stack? Can you stack their filters?
You can't stack the filters. So I have the
stacko.
4-stop, no stacko.
Yeah, can't stack them.
Not yet. But, Scott Bourne said, who knows what's going to happen like with Luminar coming up, which I love, by the way. And that was a great demo. So anyway.
Another question from Chris. How hard is it to get the filter out of the mag ring?
I wish I had it on my camera right now. It just pops right out.
It pops right out. No worries.
But on the other side of that, it's not going to pop off. So, you can leave it on, put it in your camera bag. It's definitely not going to pop off. But this night sky filter is interesting, especially if you live in New York, where I live, or in Tampa, where you live, where you have a lot of sky pollution. Somehow or other, Scott Bourne probably knows the technical name for this, but it filters out some kind of, what it is, Scott Bourne, right?
I think that it works on atmospheric distortion.
There you go. It takes out the atmospheric distortion.
Bad stuff. It takes out bad stuff.
Yeah. So and the polarizing filters are really cool too.
All right. Well, thank you, Rick. Hey, Terry, what do you got? You got some stuff for us? Stick around, Rick. Don't go away.
Another one.
All right, what you got, Terry? Terry's always got good stuff.
More than one more, but I got another one. So One of my favorite in-studio reflectors is the Eyelighter by Wes Scott. So this crescent-shaped eyeliner does two things. It, of course, lights underneath the subject's chin or neck area, as well as creates some pretty cool catch lights in the eyes. And the thing about it is it's not too bad to travel with because it does break down into its own little case and works great.
Very nice. I like the way you're still on the screen tiny. I like that.
Yeah, how about that?
Hi, Terry. All right, and there's his full size. Okay, got any more, Terry? Can you throw us another one?
Sure. This one is another one that I just always carry around with me because while everyone's mentioned Platypod, I didn't mention it because everyone else has covered it. But while I love the Platypod for my DSLR, I definitely carry one of these around for the phone. So whenever I'm doing any kind of video conference or just shooting stuff with the iPhone, this is my favorite tripod. It's by the good folks over at Archon Mounts. It's about under 25 bucks. Can bend and wrap around stuff and very super extremely lightweight. Covers the biggest phones and you're all set.
Lovely, Terry. Absolutely lovely. All right, Rick, you got
And
anything
again,
else?
all of this.
Yeah, actually, I do.
Don't go away, Terry.
Actually, I do. For the serious photographers out there who like to do the night photography, you get them one of these little like headbands, right? These little Scott Bourne, I know uses
I have
these.
3 of those.
What you don't want to do is shine it right into the person's eyes because it would look like that. But they come in red. You could also get like a red light on here. You can see from the side. So these are nice little stocking stuffers that aren't going to cost a lot of money and are definitely useful. Scott Bourne, you know this. In Bosque in the morning in the pitch dark.
Hey, I go to Bosque without one of those. I'm not getting any pictures.
That's right.
I go to the Pizza Hut in Bosque. And they don't open until after the light's up. It's not a problem. The buffet starts at 11.
That's funny.
I've never been there. Just making this up. It's a bunch of lies. All right, let's go to Scott. Scott, what do you got? You got one for me?
I got one that's one of those things I didn't know I needed until I saw it. Then I decided I needed it, and it's $7.99. It's from Three Legged Thing.
$7.99?
No, $7.99.
So it's $8?
$8.
I like it already.
It's this little blue thing that's on the screen. It's called the multi-tool, and it's got a hex wrench built in, which we all need for our Arca Swiss plates and our camera plates. But for those who don't use that, it's got a good old flat blade that will open up the thing that a coin usually is used for. And it even has a bottle opener in it.
That's what that's for?
It's a bottle opener. And, if you need a beer while you're taking your plate off to calm down, it's good. And it's got a carabiner. So you got a carabiner, a bottle opener, a hex wrench, and a flat blade. And you can attach it to your gear bag or stick it in your pocket. It's like one of those things where every time you need a hex wrench, you can't find one.
Right.
But you have this bright blue thing that's attached to something. It's brilliant. It's $7.99.
And what's it called? It's called the Three-Legged Thing.
That's the manufacturer, Three-Legged Thing.
Tools.
And it's
there. It is
Tools multi-tool.
It says it's a top seller. It's called the Three-Legged Thing Tools multi-tool. There it is.
There isn't a photographer that's serious about their photography who won't appreciate this. And if nothing else, most everybody drinks beer.
I appreciate it much more. I didn't even know what it was. I have one. It came with like one of my tripods. I had no idea what it was. I got to go in there and go get it now. We were out shooting and Eric Kuna, I'm like, oh no, I don't have my thing to take my plate off. I don't have the Allen wrench. And he pulls that out and goes, here you go. And I'm like,
Listen, this thing is utterly amazing. I know everyone else has done it, but I'm going to do it. Platypod. Listen, there's a reason we're all into the Platypod. It's literally, in my opinion, I said this to Larry the other day on the phone. I think it's the most important photographic accessory invented in my lifetime. I cannot imagine life without it. I have all 3 of the versions he's ever made. I always have one with me. I have multiple copies of these. I have them in my car, in my pocket, in my bag. This thing will save your bacon, folks. You've got to get it.
Wait a minute. I never knew about the bacon. I didn't know there was a bacon aspect. I didn't know there was a bacon aspect to it.
I own the domain baconatorman.com, by the way.
Do you really?
I do.
Baconator?
Baconator Man.
Wow. There's, you're like an onion. You peel away a layer and there's some bacon. Terry, you got to, come on. Terry's always got more stuff.
I always got more stuff. Now, this one is the only thing that's not on the blog, but it will be there by the time the broadcast is done. I just forgot to add it. So it's called the Loop Deck.
Oh, those are cool.
Loop Deck.
Yeah, it's a keyboard, but it's specifically an editing keyboard, and I have the Lightroom version in front of me. So this has all your dials and controls. You just plug it in, install the driver, and you're instantly editing in Lightroom without having to click around on your screen. You're looking at your picture and you're just dialing things in, and you're just concentrating on how the picture looks and doing it all with your hand with muscle memory from the keyboard. And the one thing that bugged me about it was it had every knob and every control for everything I do except I can't think of the name of it. Except
maybe it'll be easier to remember if you wrap it.
No. Hold on. Except I'm
going to pay for this.
Come on, the dehaze. Except dehaze. There we go. So it didn't have dehaze. I saw the folks over at Photo Plus, and they said, I asked them, can I program like I don't use the tint very much. Can I program that knob for dehaze? They didn't know, but we looked it up in the software right there in the spot, and you can. So that made it perfect because now it has every button on it and every dial on it.
How much?
I don't know.
I'll look it up.
Hey, I heard a little bird say that there's a version of the Loop Deck coming for Luminar.
Really?
Yeah, just saying.
All right, hold on.
I just mentioned that the folks from Loop Deck were in our booth at PPE. That was not a coincidence, probably.
All right. It looks like about $249. I'm thinking
wrong.
with the software, the Loop Deck editing console. It just went away. I had it here and it went away, but that was it. There it is, the Loop Deck editing console, a top seller, $249.
It's very cool.
All righty. Hey, we're going to jump over here to Rick in a second, but I want to get another winner because we've still got my book, my brand new. I don't know if I mentioned this. I might have mentioned it. I'm not sure if I did, but on press right now, Photoshop for Lightroom users. It's new and it's just, and watch how much bigger it gets. Boom, right? So the longer you hold it, the larger the book gets itself. No, just kidding. Anyway, but it is exactly that. It's Photoshop for Lightroom users. So if you're a Lightroom user and you think, I've always wanted to learn Photoshop, there's two ways you can do it. You can buy this awesome book, or you can join me in Atlanta on Monday. Hopefully Terry White will be there. Are you coming out to my seminar, Terry?
As far as I know, I think I'll be there.
As far as I know, that's not what I'm looking for, Terry.
Oh, I'll definitely be there then. Yeah.
Thank you.
How can I miss it? The parade.
And then I'll be in Fort Lauderdale right after that. And the night before, I'll be shooting the Dolphins game. So I'm shooting the Dolphins on Sunday, and it's terrible because there's blood everywhere and, marine animals. I feel bad about it. And then the next... I actually got you with that one, didn't I?
You did.
And then Fort Lauderdale that Monday, that next day. It'll be a lot of fun. All right, guys, we've got so many great gifts and so much fun, but we at some point have to say goodbye, but not before Rick Sammon. Rick, you're wrapping up the show, baby. Give us one last one.
Well, I'm wrapping it up with a Black Rapid. Okay, a Black Rapid strap. I mean, talk about something that it took a long time to be invented. I mean, this is an amazing invention. It takes a little while to get used to your camera hanging upside down, but I always use these Black Rapid straps. And Scott Bourne, what do you think, Terry?
I have a couple of them. They're definitely good if you want to be into quick action.
It is the camera strap that I use. That's it. I use it for sports. I use it for photo walks. I use it everywhere I go. I use it on vacation. I love that it hangs across your body. You don't have to worry about somebody grabbing it and running off with your camera. And this is important. They went back and they recreated the original Black Rapid, the very one that made them famous. You can now go and buy the original because they stopped selling the original and got fancy and high tech. But now they're back with that.
I have one more quick one.
Of course, go ahead.
The Stratocaster mousepad.
The Stratocaster mousepad.
I want that bad.
The Stratocaster mousepad.
That's not fair.
It's not fair. It really isn't. Hey, we have a winner for the giveaway of my Photoshop for Lightroom users book. I don't know if I mentioned that's coming out, but
hey,
anyway.
Scott, you have a new book coming out?
Well, thank you. Yes, I do, Scott. It's called Photoshop for Lightroom users, and John L. just won one. Now, John, I just have to give you a heads up. All the other winners are going to get their stuff shipped out right away. but not you, John. It hasn't come off press. I haven't even seen my copy yet, but when we get them, we're going to send one. And I'll even sign it for you, John, because I care. All right. Well, we've come to the end of our show. Terry, I want to thank you for putting a very interesting background behind you, for being incredibly well lit, and for sharing your new haircut and your earrings.
I'm always lit.
You are. You're lit, you're woke, you're all of that.
I'm always lit.
Rick Sammon, thank you for joining us as always.
Thank you, my friend.
And I appreciate you using a different color mic to make us all look like weird.
And I have my logo on it.
You do have your logo on it?
It's right there.
Look at you. You're so that word. Anyway, wait a minute. Darlene wants to know, where can we pre-order the book? Amazon.com or BarnesandNoble.com, which is just BN.com. Either one of those. I know it's available for pre-order on Amazon because we just saw it there today. So it's now available for pre-order, and makes a great, great gift for the Lightroom user on your Christmas list. Scott, where can people go learn more about you and your photography? Where can they follow you on social?
Well, Bourne.Scott is my Instagram. Everything else is Scott Bourne. Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. Again, I just mentioned earlier, back to Flickr, and the ScottBourne.com.
Should they go to Skylum.com to get the Black Friday deal?
They can go to Skylum.com to get the Black Friday deal, as well as free downloads to try out and lots of education. And we'd love to have them stop by.
Awesome. Rick Sammon, where can people go learn about Rick Sammon?
RickSammon.com. That's it. Everything's there.
Wow.
Terry? Including my 15 KelbyOne classes.
Yeah, you do. 15. Good on you. Terry White, may I call you Terry?
You may.
Terry, where can people go learn about you, as if it didn't say it at the bottom of your screen, but
right there.
Oh, hey.
Where can they hear your records?
Hey, did you see that? Did you see the gimbal action there?
Oh, that's
Look
nice.
how smooth that is.
It's so smooth.
Doesn't he move?
Terry, why is it so dark on our set?
Lack of light.
Lack of light.
That'll do it.
It doesn't seem like it, though, does it, Scott? It seems like there's
seems very bright on
it seems
this
like
end.
there's 30 lights on us here. But anyway, hey, thanks everybody for
Yeah,
watching. It
there's
was
a
a
lot of
whole
light
lot
on
of
the
fun.
set.
Now, I said I misspoke earlier when I said that we were going to announce the winner of the Platypod Reflections contest. I misspoke. I have now understood that it will be next week, and that Larry from Platypod will be here, and Hilmar will be joining us. So that should be a fun show. So that'll be good. And so anyway, thanks to Terry and Rick. Thank you guys both for being here. You guys are awesome to take the time out. Two of the busiest guys out there, and I really appreciate you guys stopping in. Scott Bourne, thank you very much for spending some time with us. And I'd like to take the show out with just looking at Scott Bourne's desktop pattern, because I swear that thing, I don't even like wildlife photography. I just don't like it. But I love this shot. It's absolutely mesmerizing.
very
It makes
kind.
me want to shoot wildlife, and that worries me.
Come out with me anytime.
I won't get shots like that. I'll get crap shots.
No, I'll teach you.
Will you?
I will.
All right, maybe. All right, guys. Thanks very much. We'll catch you guys next week right here on the grid. Take care, everybody. Look how low he got with that jib. Look at this. Watch. He was down literally on the ground. Watch how high this goes.
Man.
Watch. We'll both get a nosebleed here in a minute. Watch. It's like from the International Space Station view.
That was a pretty...